Hello, welcome to Duncan Egg Bricks and to another early August 2022 LEGO set review. In this video we're going to be taking a look at a very exciting set. This is number 76911, Aston Martin DB5. Now, as you can see, this is a Speed Champions set. The Speed Champions logo is very prominent, but also very prominent are the Aston Martin logo and also the James Bond 007 logo. So this is a first. It's actually one of two licensed movie cars that are coming out. There's this and the Dodge Charger from Fast and Furious. As I kind of mentioned in a previous video, I was never ever going to get that one, and I fully intend on not getting it, but I definitely wanted this one. It's only the second ever James Bond Lego set that we've had, and the other one was also DB5, the much larger scale one, which had its merits and also had some bad things about it. I think this is actually probably a more accurate car, and it's also minifig scale, or at least it is in the 8 wide Speed Champion style. You can actually see a comparison of the model to the real car. It's pretty good, this one. I've been really looking forward to getting this all built up. So yeah, hopefully the start of a brand new line of licensed Speed Champions cars. As I've said before, I am really hoping for a DeLorean. That would be great. So let's get this open, ruin the value of the box. Oh my gosh, and see what we get inside. I'm expecting to actually be fairly typical Speed Champions stuff. One bag, 2 bags. Yep, that's it. That's what we expect. Quite a big stick sheet, although in all fairness, these are the optional number plates that you can put on. And the other stuff, apart from possibly the Aston Martin logo, which I think goes on the back, they don't seem too prominent, so I wouldn't worry about them too much. And the instruction manual, which is, again, the terrible, terrible CGI render. That looks awful. I don't know why. Obviously, the car in real life is kind of reflective silver metallic. This is obviously in light bluish grey, which is fine, but somehow this makes it look even less special and even less shiny. So yeah, that's a bit disappointing. Do we get other sets in here? Yes, we do. So there's sets that have become available this year. I have previously reviewed the Lotus and the Lambo and the Aston Martin double pack. Yet to get the other ones. Don't know if I will get either of these two. Not getting the Dodge Charger. So yeah, on to the Aston Martin. This should be a really fun build. Once again, the Speed Champions theme did not disappoint. This was probably one of the best Speed Champions builds that I've put together to this date. The move from the 6 to the 8 wide is something that got a little bit of hate at the time, but it was absolutely the right decision. The amount of detail you can put in, their proportions are fantastic. Yes, are they slightly overscale, but also who cares? But anyway, I'll go through all the features of the car. I will just show you the minifigure first of all. This is obviously James Bond, specifically James Bond as played by Daniel Craig. And I think this is a pretty decent looking fig. It's just got some very basic printing showing his tucks on his legs, which is continued on through the hips and onto the body. Don't know if the leg printing was really necessary, but it does look nice. It's got a white shirt and a bow tie, very classic, not taking inspiration from any specific scene, although this is kind of like a tie-in with No Time to Die, which is the most recent Bond film to come out. Just a bit of dirt on his head there. They've chosen the dark tan hairpiece for him, which makes sense as a blonde Bond, and his accessory is the standard Speed Champions wrench, which is used as a tool to get the wheel covers off. Although, interestingly, as I'll come on to, because this car uses slightly different wheel covers from usual, I'm not sure it's actually going to be as effective. It's a shame they didn't include a representation of his most iconic weapon, which I believe is a Walther, or Wolver, however you pronounce it. So yeah, it's quite funny to see him with a wrench, although he is an experienced hand-to-hand fighter, so I'm sure he can use anything as a weapon. But anyway, there is our James Bond figure, the first one ever. He does just come with that single expression, nothing on the back of the head there. Right, let's pop him to one side, because although it's really nice to get a James Bond figure, and unlike some other Speed Champion sets, I'd say some people will be getting it for the figure, more so than others, where it's just kind of generic drivers. But anyway, onto the car. Now, I mentioned in the intro that LEGO has done this Aston Martin, the DB5, before. It was in the larger creator style, and it was a pretty decent car, although it did have its detractors. And I have to say, this car, I think, does the real thing more justice. Somehow, I don't know how, but it looks great. Maybe because it's in this smaller scale, we're a little bit more forgiving of certain shapes which aren't quite right. But to be honest, it's pretty good. It actually looks more curvy than the larger Creator Expert version. So yeah, let's run through the details. And there are a few new pieces in this as well, which are very interesting. One of the most obvious new pieces is this entire back section of the upper part of the car. This hasn't been built as it would normally. This is one piece minus the tiles that are clipped on top of it. So yeah, you've got a tile here, 3 tiles there, but all the rest of this is one big trans-clear piece, which is at the moment exclusive to this set, comes with this exclusive printing. The colour matching isn't perfect. It actually looks slightly better in real life than it's coming up on camera, so that's okay. Was it a bit excessive to come up with an entirely new mould? Possibly, but then also it is a very unique shape. And this isn't like a piece that was only ever going to see one use. I can definitely see it being reused in a similar way to the one on the Aston Martin concept car in the double pack, which has now been reused in the Mandalorian's N1 Starfighter. So, you know, they'll find new uses for it, but at the moment it's exclusive and it looks really good. Contrasted with that, it's just a standard windscreen that we get at the front, but this is actually really accurate for the way the car looks. There's no representation of A or B pillars or anything like that, not even with stickers, but to be honest, I don't think it really matters. They'd be very thin anyway. The majority of the side is made up using these curved bricks or slopes in various different descriptions. Some here are 4 long, some are 2, some are the 1 long version with the 1 plate extending out, and then at the front we've got another new piece. So this is actually a dome piece, which is a quarter cylinder. So imagine a 2x2 round brick and then chop it into quarters. It's 4 plates high. It's printed. So there are 2 of these printed with mirrored headlight patterns, and they look great as well. It's a shame there's no slope that kind of meets from this side down to there, but to be honest, in the size that they've got available, this looks so much better than any other version they could have come up with. There is another small new piece, which I'll just pop this assembly off to show you. So it's actually this piece underneath here. Let's see if I can just pop off the 1x1 plate here, which incidentally is also printed on its side to show a smaller headlight underneath, or smaller light underneath. So this is the new piece. It's basically an inverted version of the anti-slipper. So it's an inverted anti-slipper, might be what we'll end up calling it. It's kind of half of an existing piece that was this, and then imagine another one on the other side. So that existed already, but they needed this piece in order to actually fit the detail in where it has to fit. And the reason for that they couldn't just include something supporting it from the side, it's a combination of things. Partly it's this sort of fender bumper piece that comes out along here, which is all drum lacquered silver pieces, and you can see that extends half a stud out on either side. It's actually fixed together underneath. I'll just straighten that up using some boat studs and various bits and pieces, and the entire thing is actually connected on using modified plates with bars into Apollo studs. So lots of brilliant connections as usual in Speed Champions. So that's one reason, and the other reason is the bonnet or the hood. So this whole thing is actually hinged using clips, I believe. So you build it like that and then you push it down, so it just gives the bonnet that bit of tilt there. There's also some fantastic prints, which does prove that LEGO can do matching prints. So we've got a 1x6 brick across the front there with the majority of the radiator, and then that is the edge of a plate printed with the top of it. And not only is that the edge of a plate, it is the edge of a 4x4 plate with the 2x2 cutout in the middle. So it's a very specific piece. Let me just see if I can pop this off. Yeah, there we go. So the reason for that is that they decided to brick build this intake on the top here. Just trying to think of a good way of taking this off without completely destroying the car and ending up having to do a full rebuild. Here we go. Is that going to come out? No. So the reason for that is that this scoop in the middle here is attached using a bracket, or actually it's a modified plate at the back there, and then this panel piece is just slid into the gap there, and then once this is over the top, it locks everything in place, and that edge of that panel piece meets up perfectly with the top of the bonnet. It's, once again, with Speed Champions, just ridiculous engineering, and, you know, I don't know how these people come up with these things and make them work every time, and also make them work in a way that anybody over the age rating can build. So anyway, that is the bonnet or hood. So technically, I suppose it does open. There's nothing actually inside. Actually just fills up the space completely. Yeah, there's no opening boot or trunk either. This is all built up. There's another piece here which isn't new to this set, but which I haven't encountered before. It's this 2x2 tile with curved ends. It's basically two of the single pieces, the 1x1 pieces that we've seen before, back to back and joined up, and that is so that it can have this printed headlight on it. So you'll see it's the same cross section as these modified plates here. So we've just got the brake and indicator and possibly reversing lights fixed on there as well. The front and the back use these cattle horns in gunmetal colour, and they're at the front and the back. They can move about a little bit, which is slightly annoying, but you can easily straighten them up, and if you're not playing around with them too much, it's not a big deal. They've even got details like the exhaust pipes, which are made with a pair of binoculars there and fixed on with clips underneath. What I mentioned previously were the wheel covers. I'm actually going to try them. I've not tried this before with the wrench piece. So let's see if this still actually works as a tool to get these out. I'm not seeing it. Yeah, so normally what happens is that the pieces have enough gaps and hollows in them that you can actually pop them out. But because these are specific, I was hoping to be able to get these out to show them to you, but they are not wanting to come out. But anyway, I'll show them to you like this. They are plastic and they are metallic, as in they're metallic coloured, and they look great. They're all identical. They come with the spokes and then the representation of the bodiciers or the spikes that come out of the middle. Nothing actually moves, which is maybe a little bit of a shame. They're fantastic. Again, they were a little bit unnecessary because there were some pieces they could have used, or they could have just printed 2x2 tiles, but they came up with an entirely new mould. You get 4 of them in there, and it'll be interesting to see if anybody thinks of other uses for them. One thing I forgot to mention before, so I'm filming this after I finish the rest of the video, these are the spare parts you get. Pretty standard, as you come to expect, just these small 1x1 parts. But then we also get a bunch of these metallic or drum lacquered 1x3 tiles. We used 2 of them for the number plates on the front and the back. These are just the standard ones the instructions show to apply. But then we do have this sticker sheet here, which has a bunch of spare number plates. As I did mention in the beginning, I think these are just representing the different cars that this can be from different James Bond films. So we get enough tiles to apply all of these stickers, and you can swap them out there. The reason I haven't gone ahead and done that is just that I think these are quite rare tiles, and I think it'd be interesting to just see if I can use them in mocks going forward. I'm not that big of a James Bond aficionado that I want to add specific number plates on, so I'm happy to leave these as stickers, and who knows, maybe I'll use them on a custom vehicle in the future. Anyway, back to me of the past to finish off the review. In terms of the interior, it's fairly basic. It's black all over, so it might be a little bit difficult to tell. You've got your steering wheel, your gear lever, you've got your seat backs, which are actually hinged, which I think is appropriate for passengers to get into the back. There would be space for a single minifig in the back just there. And then there's one detail, which down there, you might just be able to see that, I believe is supposed to be the handbrake, which for some reason on this car was on the wrong side. I say the wrong side, it's the wrong side for a British car. Obviously, this has got the steering wheel on the right, that's how it's shown in the instructions. And contrary to what I think I read or saw in one particular review, no, British cars do have the handbrake still in the middle. The gear lever and the handbrake stay exactly where they are. You just operate them with your left hand. So yeah, this one, for whatever reason, has it in the middle, and yeah, it just requires a little bit of finagling to get that in there, but it's a great little detail. Yeah, so that's pretty much it for this Speed Champions car. It bodes really well for the future. I really hope, as I've said a couple of times now, that they expand this theme. Obviously, it's not the first movie car we've ever got in LEGO, but it's the first one within the Speed Champions theme, and I can definitely see them going for some similar things from different franchises. I'd really like a DeLorean from Back to the Future, or just a regular DeLorean, but Back to the Future one would be better. And I'm sure there are other franchises out there with fast cars that they could make replicas of, you know, with the new Mad Max film coming out at some point in the future, maybe something from that, who knows. But anyway, I think this is a good step. Obviously, I hope that they don't move to exclusively doing the licensed sets in this theme, because the good thing about Speed Champions is that it's technically licensed cars, but it's not from some big film franchise or anything like that. But to have the odd one or the odd couple, I think is quite a good idea. So that was set number 76911, the DB5 Aston Martin. What do you think about this set? I think it's such a good set, and I'm going to proudly display this. I'm hoping to do some sort of display stand for all my Speed Champions cars, just to make sure that people can see them, because I think they are definitely worth putting on display. If you've enjoyed the video, please leave a like down below, leave a comment and let me know what you think of this set. And if you like the channel, please subscribe for more, and I will see you all again very soon.